Hey guys, it's Alyssa from AlyssaNalani.com, and I'm here to show you my planner setup for the month of September. Now, it's been a little bit since I've done a video. I completely breezed through August and didn't even show anything, but that was mainly because after One Book July, I decided to make some changes. And chief among those changes was I went from Traveler's Notebook to rings, you guys. I didn't think I was actually going to do it, but it was something that I have been considering for quite a long time, several months. I've been vacillating between staying in a Traveler's Notebook or moving to rings. And I know that in the past I've said that I couldn't do rings, but I kind of addressed some of those kind of blocks in my mind and the reasons why I said I couldn't, and discovered that it wasn't anything all that deep, and got past that and decided that I was going to take the leap. And I decided to take the leap into A5 Filofax. And I have been, oh man, this has been in and out of my shopping cart for so long, and finally I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and we'll just see if I like it. And you guys, from the minute it came out of the box, I am in such planner love. I can't even describe to you how much I am so enjoying being in this cover. So if you've seen, I don't know if I'd call it hype, but if you've seen the enthusiasm around the Filofax Malden, like, it's for real. I'm just here to tell you, it is for real. It is wonderful, and if you've considered getting one and you can comfortably afford one, go for it. So this is a Filofax Malden. It's A5 and it's in purple, and I'm so super enjoying being in it. Now, if you were wondering whether or not I have broken up with my Traveler's Notebook, I have not. I still have. This is my Prima Marketing Traveler's Notebook, and I have decided to do all things planner and blog related in here. So this is where, like, ideas get sketched out and things get planned, and so like notes and things, ideas, those kinds of things. That all happens in here. Can't show you because, you know, they're projects in progress. So for my eyes only, but do know that I'm still using my Traveler's Notebook, and I'm also using my original Midori Traveler's Notebook for journaling. I think I have said in the past that I can't journal in a Traveler's Notebook, but I think what my hang-up was is I didn't like doing it in a chunky notebook because there's so much like going on, there's a lot of bulk, and it wasn't comfortable for me. I know a lot of people do, but I just couldn't do it. And so there are only 2 inserts in this one, and it's a very comfortable place, a very comfortable space to write in, and so I'm journaling in here, and I'm enjoying it so far. Now, as far as the everyday plans, that's what's going on in here, and I will say that even just being in here for the past few weeks, I have already decided that I'm probably going to get a personal size Malden to kind of diffuse some of what's going on in here, because I found that there are so many other things that I can add, so many things that I could track in here, that I need to kind of separate it even further and maybe go down in size, because size plays a part in what works and does not work for me. So anyway, all that aside, I'm going to go ahead and open this up and show you what's going on. One of the reasons why I love the Malden is because of the pocket situation here. I don't have anything special going on, but it will definitely prove useful moving forward. So there's a zipper pouch here, okay, and then there's a pocket behind the zipper, and then you've got these 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets here, and then you have a big pocket that is pretty much the length or the space of the cover here in the back, and I really do like that. So I just got bits and bobs, some journaling cards and some receipts, and not receipts, but I got some checks and things going on in there, cash as well. And then I keep this ruler here. This is what comes with the planner, and I keep it here. I may take it out. I may use it as a page marker. I'm not quite sure yet, but it does come with, and it does have the slits so that you can pop it in and out without opening the rings, which is quite handy. And then I have this loose piece of plastic. This is a page protector that I cut up, punched. I put some washi on here for some extra reinforcement, and I rounded the corners. I don't know if you can see that. Rounded the corners. And this just kind of acts as protection for what I have going on here. This is just a journaling card that I thought was cute. And then this is just a picture I found on Pinterest. I've got several pictures that I found on Pinterest and printed out and put in here, just as decor. Another journaling card, and then I collaged these 4 pictures, these 4 images on Canva, and then printed them out and popped them in here. If you have not used Canva, it is a free site for designing things. It's what I use for my blog graphics. There is a paid version, which I use, but the free version is really quite nice. So if you've never used it, but you want to play around with like graphics and things on a more beginner level, it's definitely worth checking out. And I'll have that linked below. This is the fly leaf that comes with the planner. It's a plasticky, covery thing, and I don't know why. I just liked that this was in the front rather than this, and so, but I did want to kind of keep it there, so that's where that is. And then I made a dashboard out of a laminating pouch that I just ran through my laminator, cut and punched, and I have my sticky notes here. And then my dividers are made out of a paper pad. It's an A5 or half letter size paper pad that I got from Michael's. And I will try to have that linked below as well. So I just took sheets out that I liked, punched them, and then I popped these tabs on there that I got from Walmart. And then I had these gold letters. I don't remember where I got them from. And then I just popped them on and then put some tape on top to kind of protect them and keep them from peeling off. And those are my tabs. Super, super simple. And I haven't permanently affixed these onto the dividers simply because I'm not completely sure if this is how I'm going to keep everything. So still playing with it. So this first divider, also, this is 2 pieces of scrapbooking paper back to back to make it more durable, just so you know. So lists, and this is just paper that I've got for lists, and this is an image I found on Pinterest. So I've got some dot grid, I've got some grid, square grid, regular grid, and I've got some lined paper. This colored lined paper came with the Filofax. And the reason why these are small, 2 reasons. One, because this was originally in my other ringed planner. I was experimenting. Oh, you know, I should say this. Before I invested in the Filofax, I experimented in my Daytimer, which is a way cheaper version, is a way cheaper ring-bound planner. And so I played around in that for a little bit before I bought this, just to make sure that it was going to be a good investment. And so that planner has a different hole configuration, and so some of the pages that I have are a little shorter than what they, not as wide than what they should be. And so I just cut these pieces in half. I cut off the original holes, then cut them in half, and then so I have these little pieces that I can use as lists. So I can take one out and put them elsewhere and use them as a list for something, like a grocery list or something like that. All right, so that's my list section. And then my inbox, this is a section that really made me decide to try rings as my main planner, and that is the Getting Things Done method that's been floating around the planner community for a while. I have not read the book. The book is by David Allen. I have not read it, but there's enough information in the planner community on videos that explains how it can work in your planner system without reading the book. I do suggest reading it if you're really interested, and I have that linked below. But I got enough information to kind of give it a shot here in the planner. So this, I probably should have labeled this like GTD or Getting Things Done, but I don't know. I liked the look of inbox better, and 2, I actually forgot. I was just like making my tabs. I'm like, oh yeah, inbox. and then I labeled it, and I was like, whatever. So this is how this works. I have an inbox, which is basically a space to kind of brain dump tasks and appointments and projects that need to happen, and you just kind of bleh on the page, and then from here you can organize this into tasks and things that can go into your calendar and into your your weeks, your days, however you want to put that. So first page of inbox, I've got a couple of pages dedicated to that. And then next, you have what's called, I have several pages dedicated to that. You have what's called next actions. And so let's say that you have an item on your inbox that can be broken down into several tasks. So you'd put that project in your next actions and then write down what the next action is. And at least that's how I'm interpreting it. So I need the project line in a next actions list, not just the action, if that makes sense, so that I don't have a list of random actions that aren't linked to anything else. So for me, next actions would be the project line, and then the next actions that need to happen in order to get that project done. And then those next actions would then go into my calendar where I can schedule the time to get those things done. I hope that makes sense. I'm not going to go into great depth because other people have explained this much better, particularly Brandy Michelle. She has a whole series for getting things done in her planner, and so I will link that series below so that you can check that out. She's a way better resource than I am on this subject. So that's what next actions is for me. And then after that, you have someday maybe. Someday maybe is where you can put those things that you want to get done, but they don't have to get done in the immediate future. So it could be a month, it could be, a few months later in the year, whatever you interpret someday maybe to be, that's where you put those things. So I'd like to get it done, but it doesn't have to get done right now. And then those spaces, your inbox, next actions, and someday maybe, those are meant to be processed on a regular basis, whether that's weekly, bi-weekly, whatever, so that you're constantly on top of those items and tasks and projects so that fewer things are slipping through the cracks, if not anything. Nothing should be slipping through the cracks, but nobody's perfect, nothing is perfect, and so fewer things are slipping through the cracks, you're on top of more, and you're getting more things done. So that's the basic gist of how that works. So I also have 2 printouts back to back that I got from Pinterest, and this is kind of like the breakdown of the getting things done method, so I could just kind of have that as a reference. Adjacent to my inbox is this envelope that I made from a mailing envelope. I just cut off the flap that would close, and then I cut diagonally so that I would have like a pocket, and this is where I'm keeping documents and receipts that need to be processed. And then I have a section for my husband, so if we're having a conversation and he says, I need to get such and such done, or I need to make sure that such and such, goes to such and such person, or whatever that he's talking about that he might not get to write down himself, particularly when we're driving, or we're just having a conversation, I'm the one that carries paper, he doesn't. So I'll jot stuff down and then remind him, hey, remember you wanted to, do XYZ or attend to this thing over here, make sure you get that done. Did you get that done? I can cross it off, that kind of thing. So, or the stuff that we talk about, but that has been delegated to him, I make note of it that he's the one who's going to take care of that task or whatever, and then move on from there. This paper also came with a Filofax, and then this is just some note paper. It's punched on both sides because this is the 7-punch configuration that was used in my day timer that I was using originally. This is that Avery mini-sized paper, and it has 7 holes. This has 6, totally different configuration, but I didn't want to waste the paper, so I just punched it on the opposite side and popped it in here. The holes don't really bother me that much. All right, so my next section is calendar. It's another picture that I got off Pinterest. the great big sticker I popped onto some dot grid. And I'm not going to show you my actual current calendar because there's some information that is not for your eyes. But here is what I'm using. I'm using Annie Plans, her half letter size. And just know that if you're using A5 and not particularly half letter, that your inserts are going to be longer. So half letter is a little bit longer and a little bit narrower than A5, which isn't a huge deal for me. All I have to do is trim the bottom, and then my the width is just a little bit smaller, but it's not that big a deal for me. So just keep that in mind if you didn't know. So Annie Plans, month on 2 pages is what I'm using in here, and I'm really liking it. Really liking it. And then I'm also using her forward planning. So this is what it looks like. I've got a little mini calendar here, and then a box to write down information. And this goes from, I think hers goes from July of this year to December of 2019. So you've got all the space to forward plan. I have in here September through 2019 in here, because obviously the earlier months don't apply anymore. All right, and then I have, this is another picture I've got in here, and then I have my weeks. And the weekly spread that I'm using is this week on 2 pages. You have a Monday start, and then you have a tracker, meals, to-do, shopping, and then some note space down here, which is pretty nice. Very simple, clean. There's room to decorate if you want to, but it's super, super functional, and there's a lot of space to do all your notes. And then, you know me, I like my dailies just to be plain. I've got the dot grid going on here because I don't use a daily every single day, or I'll use a half a page for a day and then use the second half for the next day, so on and so forth. So this is more bullet journal style for my days. And then I need the structure for the month, and I need the structure for the week. So that's what I've still got that going. That's still working for me. The next section is home. And there are still a few things that I want to add, but primarily what I have in here is stuff for marriage and then finances. So I made these little top tabs, and this is just a laminating sheet that I ran through the, or laminating pouch that I ran through my laminator, cut it down to size, punched it, and then stuck a tab on the top. That's all that is. Journaling card, and then I have pictures of me and my husband. Whoa! Y'all. We're going to keep that in there. I've done that a couple times, and those other times I kept it in there. So that's what we're going to do. Anyway, if you've seen my Traveler's Notebook setups, you'll know that I keep pictures in the credit card insert. And I didn't have that in my Filofax, and so I just printed out a collage and have it on 2 sides. Okay? And that's something that I love having. And then in this section I have the sheet for our spouse meetings. So this is where I write down all the notes from our spouse meetings. And it's 5 points and then a note section. And I will be doing a video, I know I've said this in the past, but I will be doing a video addressing how we do this. And that should be later on this month. So if you're interested, watch out for that. And I didn't get this anywhere, I made this up. So, yeah, it's mine. And I'll have that as a resource in the future. It is on my blog, but I think there's a typo on it, so I need to update that and make sure that it's correct. So, anyway, the next section is finances. Again, laminating sheet, top tab. And then I keep bills and expenses. As you can see, I did not track anything in August, but I do have our bills, and I will have another one for September. I made these. This is just a simple grid, and then it has the, I don't want to show you our bills, but bill, due date, amount, and then a check off when it was paid. And then I have expenses. So I just did this in my word processing, or my spreadsheet software. Made those because I didn't want a separate insert for these items, and that's how Annie has that in her shop. But I didn't necessarily want separate. I just wanted one for bills, one for expenses, so, and then that's it, rather than a separate insert for all of them, or for each of them, the way I had in my traveler's notebook. I hope that makes sense. If you've seen my other setups, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I just needed one page for each, and then I do have the debt repayment from her. Actually, is this from her? I cannot remember if I bought this or if I went ahead and made one of my own, basically copied. But I think I can't remember, you guys. I think I made this. But I like hers. I just didn't want the separate inserts. Sorry, my mind just like went blank. But I will have hers linked below if you want to check them out, because I really do like hers. I just needed it configured a little differently in my setup. So I have 3 major bills, or 3 major debts. I have 2 credit cards and my school loan. So I keep all 3 in here. I still have to transfer the information onto this spread from my original spread. So that's what that is. That's all finances. Journaling card. And then reference is just space to keep reference material. Right now it's just notes. Notes that are different from lists, apparently, that I have back there. And then I have another piece of sheet protector that I cut out, punched, and put washi on. And then back here, I'm not going to keep this in here, but it's just kind of hanging out here for a while, or for the time being. This is called a ram dump, which is kind of like a really, really detailed version of a braid dump. I'll have this below where you can find this. I just printed it out. I don't really have space. As you can see, we're getting real chunky in here. I didn't have space for this, and so I'm going to pop it somewhere else. But this is some pretty interesting information if you're interested. And then I have the credit card sleeve insert. I was originally going to put my pictures in here the way I have in my traveler's notebook, but it's frosted, and so I didn't think the effect would be quite as nice, so I just kind of stuck it in the back, and it'll be used probably for what it's supposed to be used for, and that's like business cards and stuff. And then I just have a notepad in the back. And that's it. The pens I'm using are Colettos. I've got 2 Colettos here, and then I have a Pilot G207. This is the fine tip. So I keep those there. I like that it has 2 pen loops, and they're quite generous pen loops. Like I could fit this in here comfortably. It would fit in there. But I'm just so used to them hanging off the sides. That's just how I keep them. Hello. There we go. So, that is it. That is the setup. I plan on tweaking this as time goes on, as I find better ways to organize things, but this is my initial Filofax setup, and I'm really enjoying it. Again, if you are considering hopping the Filofax bandwagon, do it! Again, if you can comfortably do it, go for it. I'm loving my Malden, and I can't get enough of it, and I'm really enjoying what is working in here with my rings that I couldn't quite do in a traveler's notebook. I wouldn't have wanted to admit it earlier this year, but there is definitely space for rings in my life, and I like having this for this and then my traveler's notebook for other functions. So far everything's playing quite nicely together, and I am liking it. That is it, guys. I will talk to you all later in the next video. I hope you all are doing great, and have a good rest of August, and we'll see you later on in September. Have a great day. Bye.